Like Franklin himself, Trethewey explores memory, history, and America's racial legacy. Her work deepens our lore on African Americans and mixed race Americans in ways that are powerful, authentic, and visceral.
When I was 3 years old, I nearly drowned in a hotel pool in Mexico. I was enthralled by what I could see through that strange and wavering lens. My mother, who could not swim, leaning over the edge, arms outstretched, reaching for me. It was 1969, a trip with my parents, my black mother, my white father. He was a poet and had begun my education in metaphor as early as I can remember. It was his idea to place me on the back of the mule, a linguistic joke within a visual metaphor, the sight gag of a mixed-race child riding her namesake, animal origin of the word mulatto. Growing up in the Deep South, I witnessed everywhere around me the metaphors meant to maintain a collective narrative about its people and history, defining social place and hierarchy through a matrix of selective memory, willed forgetting, and racial determinism. Audre Lorde wrote, "The master's tools cannot dismantle the master's house." When I read her words, I can't help but think of the received forms of poetry I learned in school, sonnets, for example, and how I have turned to such forms to contain the subject matter necessary to challenge the master narrative. To be an historical being is to be caught up in the web of history, and I see the necessity of an engagement with history as a way to look outward, beyond the inward-turning lens of self-reflection, to contemplate one's place in the world and to illuminate aspects of personal experience through a much larger lens of shared experience across time and space. If the story I began to tell myself after the seemingly small trauma of almost drowning was that my mother had been there, that I was in no real danger, that she was somehow ethereal, a light-ringed saint to whom I might send up my prayers for salvation, the story evolved over the years to create a narrative of self that could contain yet another trauma and give it meaning. In the narrative of my life, which is of course the look backward rather than forward into the unknown and unstoried future, I emerged from the pool as from a baptismal font, changed, reborn, as if I had been shown what would be my calling even then.